Okay, welcome back, guys. We are now going to do basically the second half of the January 2020 Algebra 2 Regents. And this is a question I guarantee you're going to get either on the free response or in the multiple choice. We've been doing a lot of these. This is one I know you guys can get. So let's take a look at this. First things first, not even going to read the question yet. I see this and I go right away to making the interval. So you always take the mean and you're going to add on 2 of the standard deviations. And then you're going to take the mean and you're going to subtract 2 of the standard deviations. Okay? It's always 2. That will never be different than that. So 29.270 plus 2, 3.936. So this comes out to be 37.142. Right? 29.270 minus 2, 936. So it's 21.398. Now, when you write your interval, the smaller number goes first. The bigger number goes second. And I'm not rounding it yet until they tell me I need to. All right, so that's my interval. All right. Now I'm going to read the question. The J&B Candy Company claims 45% of the candies it produces are blue, 30% are brown, 25 are yellow. Each bag has 65 candies. A simulation was run 200 times, each of sample of 65. All right, and this is what they came up with. Bonnie purchased a bag of J&B's candy and counted 24 blue candies. What inference can be made regarding what's going on? So 24, look at our interval here. 24, right, is within our interval. Okay, that falls in the 95% interval, right? The company, which means it's normal, right? So since 24 falls within the interval, it's usual or normal to get that, okay? So the company is not meeting their production standard. Nope, that's normal, okay? Bonnie's bag was a rarity and the company should not be concerned. The company should change their claim to 37%. Bonnie's bag is within the 95% interval supporting the claim. Boom. That's what you want to go with. D. All right. All right, next one. Yep, gonna get one of these. So here we go. Which investigation technique is most often used to determine if a single variable has an impact on a given population? That means what this question is asking, and I'm going to be honest, this is the first time I've ever seen it phrased this way, so I don't think you're going to get that. Most of the times they give you a very straightforward version of what the situation is, so I wouldn't be worried about it happening this way. But if they want you to determine how something affects something, you would do an experiment to see what that is. So anytime they want to see how something affects something, you would run an experiment. So go with choice C on that one. All right, and I do not think you're going to get it worded that way. All right, got to flip my paper over here. We're going to go to number 16. Okay. All right, as theta increases from negative pi over 2 to 0. Now, this is where you're going to go to your reference sheet. That is in radians. You need to convert radians into degrees. And on the formula sheet attached to your test, they give you that formula. Look, they gave us radians. So you're going to use this formula. That means take what you've got and multiply it by 180 over pi. So I'm going to do negative pi over 2. And I'm going to multiply it. Again, if they give you radians, you go to the radian box. And whatever it equals, that's what you multiply by. Okay? So the pi's cancel. And I get negative 180 over 2, which is negative 90 degrees. All right, so this is a unit circle question. So I'm going to draw a unit circle. Okay. I got lots of colors here, so I'm trying to switch it up. Let's see. Okay, this is 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. Now, this is negative 90, not positive 90. So negative 90 is the same thing as going down. So here's negative 90. So I need to figure out what point this is. Right there. So we need these 4 points. And it's called a unit circle because the radius is 1. So this is the point 1, 0. This is the point 0, 1. This is the point negative 1, 0. So the point here is 0, negative 1. Okay? So that's the point I care about. All right. They're asking about cosine. Okay? Cosine, it goes in alphabetical order. Cosine is the first number. Sine is the second number. So cosine is 0. So I'm going to put an arrow on 0. Okay, so at negative 90 is 0. So what happens when you go from negative 90 to 0? Well, here is 0. We have another point. And cosine, again, is the first one. So we went from 0 to 1. So that means we're going to pick choice D. We went from 0 to 1. All right, so that's a unit circle review. Okay, next one, number 17. Which pattern is geometric? So we did this at the end of school. Geometric means you have to multiply to get from number to number. All right, now I'm looking at choice 2 right away and 3, and I could probably do those in my head. 1 times 4 is 4, but does 4 times 4 make 9? No, so it's not that. All right, 6 times 3 is 18. Is 18 times 3 gonna make 30? No. Okay, now the other ones are a little trickier to tell. So another way of telling, other than just looking at it, is to test it. And the test is to do the second number divided by the first number. And I always do it as a fraction in my calculator. So I'm going to do alpha y equals negative 12 over 16. That's what we got. All right, so now let's do the next two. So we're going to do 9 over negative 12. See, we got the same thing? I'm going to do it again. Oop, forgot to make a fraction. All right, and that's the same thing as that. So 1 is definitely geometric. Let's just test it with this one now. All right, so I'm going to do alpha y equals. So you always do the second one divided by the first one. That's just the rule. Okay. So then I'm going to do 3/4 over 2/3. Oh, they didn't match, so that's no good. So it's just choice 1, which is choice A. So again, geometric means multiply, and again, the test is to do the second number divided by the first number, right? That's the test. And if they match, then you know it's geometric. All right, number 18. Definitely going to get this question too, all right? Either as a free response or a 4-pointer. And this is where you do 2 of them at a time. So I'm going to take the top 2. And we have to get rid of a letter. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but it looks like that'll cancel right away. So I'm just going to add these together. So x plus x is 2x. Add those together. Oh, they go away. Add those together, they go away. Equals, add those together, we get an 8. So we already have x is equal to 4. Okay, so now I'm going to put the bottom two together. Now we have to get rid of the same letter as the first one. And notice we got rid of both y and z. So as long as we get rid of one of those, and you can notice we can get rid of z. So I'm going to add these together again. So that's 2x. Negative y plus negative y makes negative 2y. Those cancel, equals 20. Okay, but check it out. We already know x is 4. So right here, I'm going to plug in 4. Now, I'm going to solve this by subtracting 8. Right? So I've got negative 2y. Don't lose that negative. Negative 2y is equal to 12. I divide by negative 2. Y is coming out to be negative 6. Okay? And then I go back to one of the originals. I'm just going to take the top guy and plug in what we know, right? So if I take this top one, I know x is 4 plus y is negative 6. We don't know z. So that makes negative 2 plus z equals 9. Add over the 2. Z is equal to 11. All right, now let's go back and look at the question, which is not an answer. So which of these numbers did we not get? And that would be choice A. All right. Okay, last couple in the multiple choice. Number 19. Let's take a look at this guy. All right. Which statement regarding polynomials and their zeros is true? All right. So zeros, you guys, is where it's going to hit the x-axis, or if you factor it, what makes zeros? So if you graph it, it's where it hits the x-axis. Okay? So let's take a look at A. We're going to go one at a time. So choice A, draw an arrow. We have x squared minus 1, x plus A. All right. Now, first off, I notice that's the difference of perfect squares. So that means it factors into x plus 1, x minus 1, and then we have this x plus A. So now, look at these three things. The three answers would be x equals negative 1, x equals 1, and it's always the opposite. This guy would be negative A. So these are the three places, or the three zeros. So let's look what it says. It has zeros of 1 and negative A. Well, it does, but it also has a negative 1. So that means that's not quite right. So I'm going to cross that off. All right, now I'm going to take choice B. So this was choice A. Okay, choice B I'm going to put over here. Right? So it's got x cubed minus ax squared plus 16x. Now, I hope you guys are noticing there are 4 pieces. So I'm going to do grouping here. The first two have an x squared in common, which makes x minus a, right? Bring down your plus sign. These two have a 16 in common, x minus a, when you pull that out. So then I've got x squared plus 16, x minus a. So the x minus a, that means we're going to hit the x-axis at positive a. But does everybody see that plus sign in there? That means this can't be factored. You need to have a minus sign for the difference of perfect squares. So there's nothing I can do with him. All right? So let's look at the choices now. It has zeros of 4 and a. Well, it does have a, but this guy can't be broken up. So 4 is out. So that's wrong. Okay, so now we're going to do this guy, C. All right, which I'll put here. Right. This is x squared plus 25, x plus a. All right, now, exactly the same reason as this question, okay? See that plus sign? You can't break him up. He's stuck. So he's the only guy. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I want to put x equals. This means we have x equals negative a as a choice. Oh my God, it's so humid, you guys. I can't get that to work. All right. So this is x equals negative a, which they have, but you can't factor him. So the answer is going to be D, because we have no more choices left. But let me show you why. All right, here's D. We have x cubed minus ax squared minus 9x plus 9a. So again, just like question B, we're going to do grouping. So they have an x squared in common. So you have x minus a. Bring down your minus sign. They have a 9, right? Negative divided by a negative makes positive. Positive divided by a negative makes negative. So then I've got x squared minus 9, x minus a. So he factors to be x plus 3, x minus 3. So we have three answers. X equals negative 3, x equals positive 3, and x equals positive a. And that's what they have listed for choice D. All right. All right, next one. If the solution of that thing is expressed, okay, you see this? This means quadratic formula. All right, we're going to do the quadratic formula. And guys, please don't guess. It's on your formula sheet, right? So we're going to do x equals negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. This is going to be on the test, either in the multiple choice or the free response, so it's guaranteed to be there. Now, this is not ready yet to be using this formula, okay? So what I'm going to do is take my paper here, okay, and I'm going to do this guy out. So I have 2x minus 1 equals 5x squared. So I'm going to distribute, right? So that's 4x minus 2 equals 5x squared. Now, you have to set it equal to 0, and you always keep your x squared positive. So I'm going to subtract over 4x and add over the 2. So that means this is all gone, so that's 0, equals 5x squared minus 4x plus 2. So that means A is going to be 5, B is going to be negative 4, and C is going to be 2. So I'm going to plug in, okay, using what I figured out. So I have negative B, which is negative 4, plus minus negative 4 squared minus 4 times 5 times C all over 2 times A, which is 5. All right, so bottom is a 10. Double negatives become positive, plus minus. Now, I'm going to go to my calculator, but do not put the radical in your calculator. Oop, trying to clear all this out. Clear, clear, clear. Okay, parenthesis, negative 4 squared, right? Minus 4 times 5 times 2 is negative 24. All right, now the second you see a negative under the radical, that means you're popping your eye out. So I'm going to get 4 plus minus, pop your eye out. Okay, now we got to break up radical 24. That's going to be 4 and 6 over 10. Square root of 4 is 2. So that's going to make 4 plus minus 2i radical 6 over 10. Now, right here is very important. We need to split that into two fractions. So you're going to do 4 over 10 plus minus 2i radical 6 over 10. Okay? So you're going to reduce your fractions here. Alpha y equals 4 over 10. It's 2/5 plus minus Okay, now, just going to do 2 over 10. So that makes 1i radical 6 over 5. All right, so that's what I ended up with. So it says now, if your solution is in a plus bi form, so that's what we did, okay? What is b? So b is whatever's next to the I. So right there, that's what's next to the I. So the answer is radical 6 over 5. So choice B for that guy. Okay, and our last multiple choice, last two. We have 2 more. Yes, 2 more, it looks like. All right. Let's see here. Well, actually, we have 3 more because it goes to 24. So 21, here we go. Which value to the nearest tenth would make them equal to each other? All right, I'm going all calculator, guys. This is going to be y1. That's going to be y2. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to go y equals. So I'm going to do 3 sine alpha y equals 1/2 x minus 1. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm checking my mode real quick. Your mode should already be set. We're going to make sure, leave the mode in whatever we tell you to do in the gym. So that's all set, and I'm going to put the other side in. X cubed minus 2x plus 1, right? Oh, got to fix that. So it's x cubed arrow over minus 2x plus 1. All right, then we do zoom 6. So that's the sine graph. Okay. And it says, what is the smallest solution? So I'm just going to get all of them, and then we'll compare them. So we want to get this one first, right? So I'm going to do second trace. I'm going to go 5 for intersect. And I'm going to go near that location and hit enter 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So I get negative, let's see here, negative 2.054971, right? And they said nearest tenth, so it's a negative 2.1, all right? Now I'm going to see what these guys are over here. Second trace 5. 1, 2, 3. This makes x equals 0.7. And I'm going to closer to 1, 2, 3. And this is 1.4. So who's the smallest? That guy, which is choice B. Okay, so this one I'm going to do 2 ways, just in case it's not a free response. I mean, not a multiple choice question. But what I would do here, guys, if it's multiple choice, I would plug in 3 for x and type it in my calculator. Okay, so if x is 3, I'm very carefully going to type this in, parenthesis, 7 minus 3. Now, I is above the decimal point, right there. So I did second I, close the parenthesis, plus parenthesis. Now I'm plugging in 3 for x minus 2I squared minus parenthesis 4I plus 2, and I'm going to do 3 squared, close the parenthesis. So I'm getting negative 6 minus 19I. All right, so I'm going to plug that in. 3 minus 3 squared, right? Minus 4, plug in 3, plus 7, and then there's an I next to it. Hey, they matched. So it's going to be choice A. Now, again, you're in the gym for 3 hours. It couldn't hurt to test them all, but I'm going to tell you right now, they're all going to be not that. So they match. Now, let's say it's not a free response question. How would you do it? Or it is a free response question. How would you do it? So let's talk about that real quick. Okay, so the first thing we'd have to do is this middle piece. Everybody see the squared on it? So I'm going to put that over here. That means I got to write that parenthesis twice. And then we're going to multiply that out. Okay, so that makes x squared minus 2xi. I always write the I last. Minus 2xi plus 4i squared. Now remember, if you don't remember what I squared is, you could just put 4i squared in your calculator and it'll tell you it's a negative 4. I squared is negative 1. So that's going to be negative 4. All right, so this thing here is going to replace this. So I'm going to do, actually, just 7 minus 3i. Well, actually, I'll do it the right way. Plus, all of this would go in here in parentheses. And then I'm going to bring this down, minus 4i. And now I'm going to rewrite it without the parentheses. So I'm going to do 7 minus 3i. Plus means you just copy it down. Okay? Now this minus has to go to both of these. Okay? And now I'm going to combine like terms. So I have 7. So that makes 3, right? So I got the 3 sitting there. Then I'm going to do anything with i's. Where's my red pen? It's hiding somewhere. So here we go. I've got negative 3i, negative 4i, right? That makes negative 7i. Okay. And I have a blue pen hiding here somewhere too. All right. Everybody see the x squared? Putting them together. So negative x squared. And then the minus 4xi goes last. So here's the deal. Everything with i's gets written last. So I'm going to do the 3 minus x squared first. Minus 7i minus 4xi. Okay. Now let's take a look what we got there. See the minus 3x squared? Okay. So I know now it's going to be one of these two. Okay. And what we usually do is we separate everything that doesn't have i's away from the stuff that does. And you guys see how they both have negatives and they both have i's? So I'm going to pull out the negative and put the I last. And that would be that guy. All right. But if it's multiple choice, I think it's easiest if you guys just plug in. All right. Last couple multiple choice questions. Dig them out. They're over here in the last page. Where are you hiding? Where did I put them? Oh, here they are. Okay. Let's take a look at number 23. Okay. Now, write in simplest form this guy where x does. This means don't plug in 3. All right. What happens is if you plug in a 3, you're going to get an error message. So you know what I'm going to plug in instead? Let's plug in 4. Now let's see what happens when we plug in 4. Okay, do alpha y equals. Oop, do that again. Alpha y equals 4 cubed okay, I'm getting negative 4. All right, so I got to see if I plug in 4 now, which one's going to give me the same thing, right? So, well, that would give me negative 4, okay? That would give me positive 4, okay? Let's see what we got here. Alpha y equals, I'm going to do negative 4, parentheses 4 plus 3, over 3 plus 4, negative 4, okay? Oop. Whoa, check that out, you guys. We've got a couple that gave me the same answer. All right, so that means we actually have to do this one out. We're gonna have to do the simplest form, okay? So which choice is in simplest form? So let's take a look at this. All right, and that's the trick, the smallest version of the answer. So if you have to look at these three answers, which one is in simplest form? I'm gonna guess it's going to be A, okay? So just from guessing, I'm going A, because that's the smallest version of the answer. Let me show you why that's the answer. And I'm gonna show you, in case it's, again, not multiple choice, you have to do the workout. So I'm gonna make my fraction bar here. You have to factor this. And what does the top have in common? They both have x's. So I'm gonna pull out an x, and that would make x squared minus 9. Okay, now look at the bottom. That's the difference of two perfect squares. So, but notice the 9 is written first. So that means you're going to write 3 minus x, 3 plus x. Okay, now I'm going to keep going because you might notice that that's also the difference of two perfect squares. But in that one, the x is written first. And that's what we have. Now we're going to look for things to cancel. These guys are exactly the same thing, just written backwards. So those cancel. All right. So now I'm left over with x minus 3 all over 3 minus x. But these guys are also similar, but they're opposites. You're allowed to cross off opposites, but there's a -1 left behind. And that's why the answer is -x. So this is what you would do if it was a free response question. All right, and finally, number 24. Now I'm going to be honest about number 24. This is the only test a question like this ever came up on. So do I think you're going to get this as a question? No, I do not. But let's talk about how we would do it. According to a study, 45% of Americans have type O. If a random number generator produces 3-digit numbers, what would represent type O? All right, so 0 to 999. That means there's 1,000 numbers. There's 999 plus that one. So there's 1,000 numbers. So you would take 1,000 and multiply it by 45% as a decimal. So if we do that, that means there's going to be 450 numbers. So 450 has to be involved, okay? So it's not going to be 0 and 45, okay? And this one's not 450, so I'm going to cross that off. So we're down to either this one or this one. Most kids pick this one, and that's the wrong answer because they forgot that, remember the 999 plus 1, this extra one made 1,000? Well, 450 plus this one would make 451. 451 numbers. But this guy and this one makes 450 numbers. So it's actually choice C. All right. Very tricky question that I know you're not going to get. So that's it for the multiple choice section. I'm going to stop here. We're going to take a break, and then I'm going to do the 2-pointers.